Okay, so this is video number 4 for our financial planning to buy a car after 3 years. All right. So based on what we've done in terms of getting the final amount in your account after 3 years, and also finding a car and finding a loan for the car after you pay 30% of deposits. So now, before we move on to write the actual assignments, I want you to have some reflections or evaluations for what we've done in terms of our calculation. Okay, so because for all the modeling, okay, there are some assumptions behind. So you need to identify those assumptions, which is quite important for you to write a report. All right, so evaluation first. Okay, do you have enough projected saving after 3 years to pay the deposit? All right, so let's go back to have a look. Okay, so the deposit we need to have is that numbers around 7,400, right? So let's go back to see our saving. All right, so at the end of 3 years, so the year number 3, the end was 3 years, we have 18,100. All right, sorry, 18,300. Right, so that means it's more than enough. Right, it's more than enough. Yeah. So it's based on. Okay, so you might just say yes. All right. Are you confident making monthly repayment for the loan? All right. So you see, monthly repayment is this number. So that's the monthly repayments, about $555. Do you have enough money? All right. So you might go back to see your extra saving each month. Okay, at the end in third year is around 362, second year is around 343, and year number 1 is 433. Okay, so it seems like it's not enough. So if you still having the same saving plan, it's not good enough for you to pay the monthly payment of the loan. Okay, unless you use some of your saving. All right, but we try to assume you can have a more sustainable paying scheme rather than use your saving, right? So you say no, because right now it's around 400, but right now I need to pay up to 555. Okay, what can you do if later find that money repayment's too high? All right, so you might say something like, okay, more working hours, for example, more working hours. Okay, okay, and find jobs, okay, with higher pay, things like that, higher pay rates. How about this? All right, and what would be the major risks for you not being able to pay off the loan? Okay, so you might think like, so it's different for everyone, right? Okay, so for students, and possibly you are worried about you can't find a job. Okay, can't find. Okay, so right now you have job, but okay, not quite sure the economic situation after the economy after 3 years. Okay, right? Or you can find a job, but the pay is not good enough. Okay. Okay, so that can't get enough working hours, or decent pay rate. Okay, so So things like this, all right? Okay. What are the main assumptions for me to be able to buy a car in 3 years' time? Okay, so first of all, in terms of income, okay, so I need to go back to see your income, and so one assumption is, of course, you can keep the current job, or for some of you, you might need to find a new job. Okay, it's different to everyone, right? Okay, or you can say there is a rise in pay rate. So when you get older, right? Okay. So after first year. Okay, sorry for my handwriting. It's difficult to write using electronic pen. All right. In terms of expenses, okay. So you might say like you can keep your so that won't be too much one-off expense. No other expensive one-off items. So that's just some suggestion, all right? In terms of car loan, okay, so you need to get the car loan, and of course you have to make sure they will allow you to they could after they evaluate your risk profile, okay, they will allow you to get the loan, all right? So for the car loan, the most assumption is you will be qualified for the loan deal, okay? All right, okay? Secondly, the inflation, okay? The inflation is not much higher than like a 1.5%. Okay, so you might say, oh, that's quite safe. It's 1.5%, but wait a minute. When you go back to see the recent figures, you see that actually, so in 2021, in the month of June, the inflation rate 3.8%. So possibly that's because of the COVID, because we don't have enough working people in the country now. So that's why the inflation rate is quite high. Okay, and so that means when you go back to this assumption, you might need to think about this. All right. Okay. So, and you need to evaluate how realistic above assumption are. 1 is very unlikely, 5 is very likely, all right? So you will see, okay, let's say when we go back to evaluate them, okay, 1 is very unlikely, okay, so like can keep the current job, okay, possibly, yes. 3, there's a rise in pay rate, okay, 3 again, no other, oh, okay, should be 5 because I guess your parents will cover up if there's some expensive one-off items. Will be qualified for the loan deal. Okay, it depends on you. I think if you have good enough money in your account, then possibly yes. Right? Inflation is much higher. It's not much higher. Oh, that's okay. So, sorry, I think that 1 should be 2. I think I made a mistake. 5 is very unlikely. Okay, 5. Sorry, 5 is likely. So sorry, 4 is correct, and this one should be 2. All right. Okay, so that's some of the evaluation you need to do. Okay, and that's it for fourth video. Okay, so the next video we're going to talk about the structure of the whole assignment. All right.